suddenly arrived, didn't it? What are we talking about? Well, the podcast, of course, from Archetypes or Archetypes, whichever you want to call it. Meghan Markle and 28 other people managed to get this single broadcast finally on the air after 18 months. Now, you would have thought that would have been a cause for celebration for, of course, the makers Spotify. But what's interesting is they're quite prepared to lose, and lose big. And here's the reasons why. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London as ever. Lovely to have your company today. Summer's back, we're boiling again. That's right, I know you think, oh Neil, shut up. But it's so warm here in London right now. Also, if you're coming to London, you may like this little bit of news I just discovered, that the traditional policeman's helmet, the bobby, is coming back, right? Because they've all been using these sort of baseball style caps, and apparently this undermines their authority. I would have thought that was undermined when they were dancing, of course, to all the gay anthems and learning the Macarena at various prides up and down the United Kingdom. I think that did a lot to damage them. So obviously this new Met commissioner, this head boss, thinks that by reinstating a traditional look, things would of course be better. There's another reason for that as well. People have more arms on them now, and of course if you're clubbing somebody on the head, a baseball hat simply doesn't cut it, whereas a traditional policeman's bobby's helmet is as hard as nails, and more importantly of course can protect their heads. Good move finally for the British police force. Back as ever though to your breaking story of the day. On a serious note, it's fascinating, isn't it now, because lots of people are saying, well look, you know, this podcast is rubbish, it's this, it's that, it's the other. What you have to remember is everybody's talking about this, particularly in royal circles, but there's a bigger problem for the makers of Spotify. Now, as we know, and we told you in the intro, 28 people apparently it took to make this particular edition. Can't quite see exactly how 28 people were needed. When you think about it, you know, the biggest problem that you have, you know, with Meghan herself is she never let the guests really speak. It was all about her problems, navel gazing, you know, telling them how difficult her life is. Then we had that alleged story about the fire, which turned out to be something of a smoke alarm, whatever, you know. Can you believe anything? I mean, that's the problem, isn't it? When you are Meghan Markle, you've been known to tell porkies before. It's very difficult then for the public to come on board and say, okay, well, you know, we believe you. What's interesting is in certain areas, the podcast has already hit #1, which is good news for her. But the bigger problem is this, it's not making any money for Spotify. And let me explain. People are not downloading it, it's the media. And of course the people who are, you know, I mean, I haven't downloaded it, I'm too tight, you know, but moving forward you will be charged for this at some point. And I think this is going to be the bigger point, you know, because will people start to pay for this content? Not really, because when you think about it, the media will copy every spit and cough, won't they? If you look at all the newspapers, they put it out in full as a transcript. So why would you need to download it? Now, the bigger problem for Spotify is they've already decided to write off the 18 million. That's right. The 18 million that they decided to pay Meghan and Harry, and the simple reason is this. They know that it won't be a moneymaker because the media will, you know, take it all on board. But what they're hoping to do via this is that people will look at Spotify and find other things that they may wish to listen to. It's a big gamble, isn't it, when you think about it, because it could either turn you on to Spotify or simply turn you off. Now, as we've seen so far, Meghan seemingly seems very happy with what she's put out there. We've got Mariah Carey to look forward to next week. Looking forward to that clash. And having met Mariah many times and done quite a few interviews, never an easy challenge, let me tell you. Lovely lady in some respects, but difficult, shall we say. And so, two of them together in a room, wow, how's that going to work out? But on a serious note, yes, Spotify have decided basically we're not going to make any money, so let's not fuss about it. And as I told you before on the show, I truly believe the same could be said of Netflix also. They figured, well, look, how many people will watch this? But look at the invaluable publicity that Harry and Meghan as a brand have given them. Now, whether those subscribers have gone down on the back of that, who knows? But the brand is known universally. And in the CEO's eyes of these big, vast companies, that's all they care about, being known. While the money men, the ones that care, will soon get bored and write off anything that's not making a profit. And as ever, as we often say in show business, Meghan, your time will come. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.